Aloha everyone, this is Lenora, Hawaii's Pickle Lady. Today I'm going to show you how to make lasagna. It sounds complicated, but actually it's very easy if you have everything prepared. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have a big pot here because I'm making a big batch. So I'm just going to put a little oil in here. And then I'm going to brown the meat. And this hamburger meat is only 10% fat. So after this, I don't probably need to drain it. So I'm pouring the hamburger in. And I'm just going to brown it. Okay, now the meat is browned and I'm going to add the sauce. But just to tell you, you don't really have to brown the meat. Just stir it around until there's no more red in the meat, and that's fine. Okay, and there's some water in here actually that came out from the meat, but it's not oil. So I'm not going to strain it because it's not fatty like the 30% meat. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my sauce a little bit. This is a really good mixture. Generally, I make my own sauces because from the garden we have a lot of tomatoes and I save it, I freeze it, and I make sauce with it, adding all kinds of things like onions, garlic, celery, sometimes even carrots, and sometimes even eggplants. Sometimes this is a good way to get your kids to eat veggies. So when it's all cooked in the sauce and the meat, they won't even tell that there's some kind of veggies that they normally would not eat. And then plus that, you can stretch your meal. So any kind of vegetables you can chop in too. So be creative. So I have in here already made, and I've cooked it, several hours. So I'm gonna use this as my sauce. If you don't have this, you can make your own using pasta sauce from the can or the bottle, or spaghetti sauce or whatever. But sorry, they don't taste as good. And by the way, I also add a lot of fresh herbs that I get from the garden. Thyme, rosemary, oregano, sage. So any kind of nice herbs, Italian herbs that I use, okay? So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this into the hamburger meat. It's kind of messy, watch out, it splashes. Just pour the rest in, and not bad, not too many splatters. Okay, now I'm going to mix it all up. So just mix it up. And you don't have to let this cook too long because everything is cooked. Now I probably will only cook this about half hour because everything is cooked, so you don't have to worry. Okay? Now to the next step. Now most Italians use ricotta cheese. This is the preferred type, but it's also very expensive. So you can substitute by using just cottage cheese. And cottage cheese will just kind of melt in there, so you really can't tell that it's a different kind of cheaper cheese. So ricotta cheese looks like this. It's kind of grainy and it's all mixed up. Now, all you do is to the ricotta cheese, you add some eggs, fresh eggs. Now another egg. Now some parsley, you can use curly parsley or Italian parsley, either one. And some Parmesan cheese. And some basil. If you have fresh basil, use fresh basil. But I didn't have any. And it's kind of cold for basil in the garden, it dies. Then I have oregano. Again, if you have fresh, it's fine. Okay, just mix it up. And like I said, if you have fresh herbs, that's the best tasting. But, you know, depending on the season and depending if you have access to fresh herbs, you got to use dry. Okay, this is for the filling, part of the filling of the lasagna. Okay, that's it for now. We'll wait for the sauce. Okay. Now we're going to assemble the lasagna. Now the lasagna noodles can be cooked ahead of time, and so what I did was I cooked it in boiling water for about 8 minutes, and you don't want it done all the way through because it'll still cook when it's in the oven. Now, I didn't rinse it or anything. I just took it out carefully and laid it on a pan like this. It kind of stuck a little bit, but I can still peel it apart, you can see. So for each pan, you need 9 lasagna noodles. So I have this here. The other one covered is for another batch later, okay? So all I'm gonna do, I have my sauce already cooked really nice, and I'm just gonna spread a little bit of sauce on the bottom. And so this is very easy to assemble. So just do that so it won't stick all over the place. And then what you do is you put three layers of 3. 1, 2. You see how nice it is? Easy to handle. It didn't stick at all, just a little, okay? So next, I'm gonna put in our cheese mixture, that ricotta cheese, or like I said, you can use cottage cheese. So just spread some over. So pretty fast to assemble. Now you can also buy the noodles that are pre-cooked where you can just put it in without cooking it, but I don't think that's necessary because it's kind of expensive too. Sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on it. I bought it already shredded. You can buy it in a chunk and you can shred it yourself, but for convenience sake, I just bought the shredded one, paid a little bit more. And then some Parmesan cheese. So now you put the sauce, and it doesn't matter which way you put it on, any of the 3 things, no particular order, okay? And you can put as much sauce as you want, but you know, you want enough sauce to make it juicy and nice. Okay, now another layer of the noodles. 1, 2, 3. I guess I like to spread this ricotta cheese first, because if you have the sauce on and then the cheese, how are you going to spread that? Okay, just spread it on real good. And then one more time. Okay, now some mozzarella cheese. And a lot of times I buy cheese by bulk and then I shred it myself. It's a lot cheaper that way. But if you don't have time, you know, this day and age, everybody's busy. So you can buy the pre-shredded. Okay, now some Parmesan cheese. And then the sauce. Okay, this is layer 2. Almost done. And you can see all the veggies in here, the mushrooms and everything else. Okay, now the last layer is a 3rd layer. So, 1. And usually when you buy a box of lasagna noodles, they may have 1 extra, so you can just put it on. Let's see, we just put another one on here. Okay, now the ricotta cheese. And cottage cheese, not much difference in taste. So to me, it's okay. And I've seen some recipes where they call for cottage cheese itself. But you always got to make sure that you have enough cheese to spread on the 3 layers. If you run out, then it's a little bit of a problem. So you can be generous, but not too generous. Okay. And then the cheese, mozzarella. And then some Parmesan. I'll put a little Parmesan after. So this is the last. Okay. Oops, almost done. I'm gonna bake this for 45 minutes, covered with foil, and then take off the foil and cook it for another 15 to 20 minutes. And there you have your lasagna. I just want to make sure that it's kind of covered because it might get dried up. You know, it's nothing like eating crispy noodle that hasn't been bathed in the sauce. Okay, so now I'm going to cover it with foil. Okay, measure your foil a little bit extra. And just measure, make sure it covers everything. Just going to fold it like this. And I'm going to put it in a 350 oven for 45 minutes. See you then. Just happened that Austin happened to walk in and he's back for more. Doing a taste test. Okay, now try it and see what you think. Really good.
Really good. The noodles are just right too. And the meat, the flavors are there.
Now, you said your family has bought lasagna in a tray, probably smaller than this?
A little smaller than that, yeah.
How much was it?
I can't remember the price, but probably a couple bucks,
No,
like 8 or 9.
no, I think maybe like $13 or something. But, you know, with that amount of money, I'm actually making 2 trays. Yeah. So it's really worth it. And you can freeze this too. But our family, it'll be gone by tomorrow, the 2 pans, because I'm making 1 more. So for a full dinner, you can make a nice salad. And I've taken some garlic bread. You can buy a whole loaf that's already sliced. And all I do was melt it, a stick halfway melted, maybe 15 seconds in a microwave. Melt a cube of butter and put a generous amount of garlic. Mix it up, brush it on, and then put it in the broiler. Turn it over when it's brown. It's really delicious. So remember, if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that notification bell. Austin, where is it?
Oh, it's right here.
If you have any suggestions, let me know. So, mahalo for watching. Thank you. You can eat the bread too if you want. I just made a few too.